63. We're still trying to finish up some of these quests. We're basically going to be focused on getting the third and final quest of the tutorial quest series done. Basically, we've tested all the way up to making the orc flee over to the boss arena. Once we get that part done, then we should be testing it, and that will be the last thing that we need. Well, we'll be testing the boss fight, bringing the quest reward back, or the quest item back. That'll be the first quest that we have a quest turn-in for as well, or a quest item turn-in item for it. Anyways, it'll be the first time you have to bring an item back to complete a quest. Actually, no, it won't. We already did that on, like, the first step. Anyways, we're testing Flee, we're testing the boss arena fight with instancing, and then that is pretty much it. So, without further ado, let's get the server popped up. Let's get the client logged in on a couple of different versions of it. We'll get the Watcher in there as well. Client should have started up. I can't really see it as well either, so nope. Anyways, let's get this off the screen now. Oh, it looks like I wasn't even typing. Go run /cp. Get the client up and running so we can hop on in here. This should be picked up momentarily. There we go. What step are we on? Ah, right, I completely reset the quest. That's good to know. And then we'll have to hop into the Watcher. Okay, I am going to run the Watcher over to the boss arena because I want to check something specific with that. I need to double check that when the player enters the boss arena, that they do not, in fact, I need to check that when they enter the boss arena, that they do not, in fact, enter the same arena and are not actually visible by other players in the arena. That part's actually really important for us to make sure that we have the instancing done correctly, because otherwise, well, otherwise, we're not actually doing an instance fight. And I want to make... So I have one thing that I'm concerned is actually the case with it. I'm concerned that when the player enters into the quest arena, that it's still going to show the player on the other person's screen. And so that it'll look like... They'll be like, hey, what's this random person doing in my boss fight right now? And that's something I don't really want to happen. So I'm just going to run this over there. You're not going to actually be able to see me running this character over, but... if all goes well, you will eventually. Actually, if all goes well, you won't eventually. Oh, these wolves are terrifying. Gotta make good use of the roll. Okay, I'm almost there. Almost there. Oh, I forgot how many mobs there were over here. Oh. Hey, stop teleporting me back. Okay. Okay. The other player is in the boss arena. The Watcher is in the arena. I actually really like the arena. Okay. Now, I am waiting on... So I started up an initial attempt to fix the Flea because the last thing we ended at yesterday was that the Flea was not working. So I've basically set it up to make sure that the Flea is working. We'll take a quick look as well at making sure that the arenas are properly instanced first beforehand. In the meantime, I think we can get started on this part of the quest. So basically, we accept the quest, and then we have to create these barricades. There's still no graphic for the spiked barricade, which is a bit of a shame. And the barricade points are still rotating. Oh, don't want to cancel that right away. Unfortunate. Oh. Don't know what just happened there. I think that might have been an air. No, that was stuff entering overflow. Alright, so this should trigger the goblin spawn now. I don't know how I feel about that happening immediately. There we go, we've opened up the way. And now I do need to wait for the actual orc captain thing to happen. I wonder if I should make the load distance a bit more. Oh no, it's interesting though. I wish I could see the spike barricades. I really feel like this should not have been as long of a task as it's taking. Let's quickly look through what's actually going on here. So it seems that there's an issue with the orc. It does not visually move when the player approaches him on the third quest. Let me look at how the orc spawns. It's just doing a bunch of reading, but for some reason taking like 20 seconds per time in between reads. Then I had to do a chat compact, which always takes a while, but... zone bounds versus orc spawn, need to understand if they are in tiles and pixels. The player spawns at the arena center and the orc spawns at pixel, which is... No, this isn't... What? The orc never... It's not even looking for the right thing. What? No, this isn't... That's not what I was getting at all. Root cause: the orc spawn position is placed at essentially the same spot as the player's entry spawn point, player's arena entry. No. Returns to the center zone. The distance between it was 22 pixels from the 2-tile. No. Undo the orc spawn location change. That was not the issue and not related to the bug. The bug is during the quest. Town defense. On objective, follow the town defense. On the quest step, follow the orc commander to the arena entrance. The orc commander is supposed to be followed in Forest North, but the orc commander never moves for the player when they approach them. They continue to stand in the middle of the Forest North and do not move toward the arena. In addition, I need to make sure the arena instance does not show players who are in the regular arena and vice versa. Players in the regular arena do not see players in the quest instance in a quest instance arena. I don't want to walk up to the orc commander because I know that will... actually, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to close this first client. Go over... Oh, hey, you get to see the other instance. See, I moved them over into the arena. I can also shut that one down just so you can see what I'm doing. So we're going to go over to the data saves and players. This is the copy. This is the regular one. So we're going to copy that one and just paste the second copy. So now we have copy and copy 2, and these are on different steps of the same quest. So that means that we'll be able to resume this part if it needs to be. So if I start this one up again, I can now go and show, hey, they have a visual here, but they don't here. That's annoying. So now I can actually show you, they should be collidable objects, but whatever. Now I can actually go and show you what I was talking about for the orc commander. Because if I walk up to the orc commander here, you'll see that this is on follow the orc commander. Look, there's the orc commander. Follow the orc commander. But we can't actually do anything. So it says follow the orc commander. Nothing. They're still standing there, but you'll see if I run all the way over, it's going to be immediately to step 4 of 5. Oh, see, now we're at the area and it's like, oh, you followed the orc commander to the arena. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change how the mage works. It shouldn't be a fixed distance. It should be specific. Anyways, I'm gonna actually close this down now. We're going to copy 2 and copy that over the existing one. So that should return us back to where we were in the quest before doing the follow. Oh. I gotta stop reading stuff. I had to check on my bot though. Then I get dragged into other discussions. So much right now. So much. So let's see what's going on in here. I see a couple of additional actual explanations of stuff, so we're gonna take a look through this. Reverting the orc spawn change first. Now let's find the orc commander NPC. Find the orc commander. The orc commander has the flee behavior that should move it towards tile 100, 175. Let me find where the NPC behaviors are implemented. The quest behaviors fields are the NPC JSON, but may not be defined in the config struct or handled in the code. Let me check the NPC config. Good, the config types exist. Now let me find where these behaviors are actually executed in the tick loop. The flee NPC behavior exists in config, but is never implemented in the server tick. Of course, that's the case. I need to write it. Let me look at the simulation structure and the existing NPC combat tick to understand where to add it. Tick quest NPC behavior is already called in the tick loop. Let me find its implementation. The implementation exists. Let me look at what the client does with the delta move NPC payload, since the code is sending move payload DXXY or DXDY. There's a payload type mismatch, and the behavior send wire move payload DXDY. That was a weird loading bug. Actually, I think I know what that was from. That was from the error reset. Let me check the move wire payload. Found the bug in quest NPC behavior. It marshals move payload, but the client's handle delta move unmarshals. The field names don't match, so the client receives position 00 every tick. Let me also check what the handle delta move does with NPC IDs to understand the client even looks them up. With a non-mob ID writes to other players, not NPCs. The flee behavior needs to use delta NPC spawn to update the NPC position. Let me check how NPC spawn is handled client side. Let me find how the initial NPC spawn payload is built to make sure that I use the right fields. And that's where it's at. So I really do need to edit down some of these past streams into shorts again. The first couple of shorts did fairly well, but I need to keep going because we have, I think I have about like 55 days more, 55 more days worth of of backlog before I've actually caught up to where we're at live. And I know the good stuff starts like day 30 or something like that. So we'll show bit by bit and how it continues to build. I find it kind of entertaining that stuff doesn't necessarily despawn, but I actually can't attack it anymore. And now I can miss everything constantly. I should probably make it so that players can't shoot or attack out of bounds. That would probably be a good idea. But, you know, we can figure that out later. What happened to you? The cure for... I find it kind of funny that this patch of them is only like the trees and bushes. It just kind of worked out that way. Woohoo! I get to ban someone! Let's go! That's like the second best time of any stream. I really gotta get the scaling on damage to be fixed. Oh. Also, the damage doesn't scale based on how well the player does, which is a bit annoying. See, like that only gave me 13, which is good. That's how that's supposed to work. Versus, I think I'm supposed to get like 20 normally. Yep. See? So this is probably going to be a shorter stream as well. Hopefully it won't take us too long to get this. I really do want to just get through this quest part, and then that's probably where I'm going to end up calling it. I did my release for DDID yesterday, and that took so much longer than I was expecting to. Holy. But on the bright side, I got the DDID project released. It's up at ddid.id, and it is basically ID cards for basically verification of proof of payment, essentially. At least that's my intended use for them. They're basically go there, buy one of those, send it to the correct location, gets you access to the stuff I built. I haven't really implemented that second part, but I've at least enabled this off the start. So I think it's going to be useful for me at least. That's why I built it, because it actually enables me to do payments and it allows me to do payments and allow access to my specific things that I've built, including that's how access for the game is going to work. So, very important project for me to get up and running. I'm very excited for it. I hope other people are going to just find it interesting from a technical standpoint as well. But this is just something that I built so that I have a payments method that actually works and that I'm able to have control over. I think there's a bit of a Bit of an issue here. Forest Goblin, what's wrong with you? Forest Goblin. Oh, hey, cool, the bug's fixed. Bug 1, Orc Commander never moves. The fleet position update was using wire move payload with... Whoa. Speaking is difficult. Wire move payload DXDY with delta move, 2 compounding problems. The JSON fields DXDY don't match what the client needs, X and Y, and delta move routes the other players, never NPCs. Fix to send wire NPC spawn payload with delta NPC spawn, which routes through the handle delta NPC spawn and correctly upserts C world NPC's ID. The instance player visible in public arena. Broadcast positions was sending every player's position to every session unconditionally. Change to carry zone ID alongside the delta and apply the same zone visibility check. Places are now invisible to players and vice versa. Was bug 2 also applied to shots in the boss private or boss instance / public? We're probably going to be moving the boss arena over to an instance version in general anyways. At least we're going to have an instance for normal and an instance for learning mode. But I think learning mode should be pushed to an instance regardless for each player. Normal mode arena will probably just be public open, but the other arena... Okay, shots were already correctly isolated. Projectile spawns are broadcast via broadcast to zone, which already filters. The only broadcast that was bypassing the zone filters was broadcast position. Okay, so what this means is that we can restart the server, restart the client, hop back in, and see if things are fixed. I'm going to make sure to log in on the Watcher as well. Watcher's just going to keep sitting in that corner. Move this over there, and we will now... I should actually double check that it picked up the right one. Yes, it did. All right, time to go see if we can deal with the orc. See if it actually moves, because that's what the goal was. Oh, that hurt. Not actually sure how it was hitting me from there, but hey, I mean, it's good to see that there's some dangerous things and that death is possible if you mess up. I don't think lurkers are normally that dangerous. Oh, right. They do have a melee attack if you get too close to them. Oh, that's an annoying thing with magic. If you accidentally click through and hit like a tree. Well, this does seem to be working, and that's kind of cool. Time to run on back because we died again. Those wolves are really dangerous. They really are. Do. I mean, so far so good, but I am going to have to make sure that we get a fix for... I'm gonna take a death, and because I want two changes need to be made for the orc flea portion. One, the orc needs to move faster. By like 2 or 3x speed. 2, when the orc begins returning to its spawn location, if it gets close to the player again, it needs to start running away again. Currently, it ignores the player once it starts to reset. Yeah. Which isn't the intended behavior. I should double check how much damage we actually take when our defense is boosted again, because I can't remember. So I'm gonna go get hit by a single shot. Come on, Goblin. That was 5. Damage from its double shot. Okay, let's restart this again. See, those were very quick fixes. This is more what I expect for these sort of fixes, rather than it taking forever. They shouldn't have to go and explore like the entire code base each time. All right, let's try. Oh, darn, it's focused on the wrong one again. Okay, let's make sure that this is actually working now. You can see what I'm doing, so we're going to run over to where the orc spawns. I think I will throw Fortify on. What? That was weird. I'm going to assume that that was just a temporary bug. Hey, Oshins, how are you doing? I'm finally testing out some of the quests. Okay, it actually feels like the orc is running now. He's a little jittery. But at least he runs now. I think I know what that reset is, so I'm gonna take the death here. Orc runs at its max distance and becomes jittery as it alternates between running and resetting. To fix this, I want the orc to be able to run away up to 3 times the current distance, and it should have a 10-second delay on returning to spawn once it is far enough away from the player. current distance, but only begin running again when the player reaches the current detection distance. It should have a 10-second delay on return to spawn once it is far enough away from the player. Let's do a little bit farther. I think 4x will be good. Alright, this should be a fairly fast fix. I'm having a good time working on these quests here. I normally don't actually enjoy much about quests when I'm playing. I find them to get very tedious. But building them is a lot more fun. Hey, QWERTY. You somehow managed to get GitHub Copilot working on your phone. So it's working on your phone as in you can talk to it through your phone to get it to work? Or what's that? Like, that's the remote control sort of thing? Wonder how better Grok bot gets next week or next month when Grok 4.7 releases with all the SpaceX engineering data and now AI on par with the top models like Claude, Fable 5, and GPT 5.6. So yeah, that'll be very interesting as well. I really like Grok, but I'd never actually use it for coding just because it doesn't have the best ways to interface with the coding. Oh, cool. So that's like the remote control thing that Claude has. I've seen some very funny things. People will leave like the computer on and then go for like a run or whatever and just talk to it the whole time and get it to do stuff while they're away, which is really, really cool. It really is kind of Jarvis-like. But yeah, I would love to swap over to just using Grok for stuff, just because I like Grok and I like all the SpaceX stuff and XAI stuff. It's really cool. But I don't know if there's a good way for it to interface with stuff. I think they bought Cursor as well, though, which would make me think that Cursor will or is already able to utilize Grok, which might make it easier and might make me actually go and try out Cursor, because I never even did try out Cursor at all. Very nice. How long have you been working on that for? And how far would you say you are? What's that development experience been like? Now probably it's the full step fleet. Oh, cool. So it's a fairly new project then, right? New projects are always so much fun to get started on. It's such a great experience. It's already the point where you can publish it. Nice. Something feels wrong here with the movement. Something feels sticky. Oh, right. There's a... I'm gonna have to come back to this and... something feels sticky around here and I don't know what it is. But I'm gonna have to come back to it later to figure that out. Used 5.6 Sol for the planning and most of the implementation. It nearly one-shotted the CR. So what exactly, that's CRM as in content revenue management, or like what, or not, is that CRM as in like the standard business term or something else? Also, I need to restart everything here now that these changes are in. Here's what changed in the jitter has gone before. Distance greater than reset pixels, 8 tiles from the player, immediately set return true. It hits 8 and flees. Only return when 4 times reset 32. The player has truly disengaged for the reset to start. When armed, a 10-second cooldown runs before returning. Player re-entering fleet trigger radius, including return walk. Okay, perfect. So I'll start the server up. Client Relations Management. Okay, that's what it stands for. I knew, I only ever hear it as a acronym, but it is that term. That's good to know. Actually, I feel like CRM gets used for a couple of different things, which is weird. I don't think it's a unique acronym with a single meaning. I feel like it gets used for a couple different things. Okay, so I've got the Watcher logged into the zone, or into the boss arena. I've got the main quest, or the main character that we're doing the quest on. So we're gonna go take a look at the orc buff defenses to go in. Oh, that's a wolf. I was like, why is he attacking? Okay, we leveled up. Now let's see the flea. No, he's definitely not fleeing. Definitely still only fleeing 8. Let's just try resetting this. Maybe I messed up on resetting it. CRM is just widely used to mean multi-page dashboard application. Okay. that makes sense. That checks out with a lot of things I've heard. Oh, what are we doing over here? I forgot that. Only fleeing the 8 piles of attacking jitters during the... What's the specific quest step? During town defense. During the quest, town defense on this. There we go. I really got to remember that I literally just logged out in the spot and didn't reset anything. That was funny. All right, I can zoom way. Right, this is an issue that we have to fix. I forgot about that. It looks so weird when I zoom out. Everything gets so grainy. Gonna have to limit how far players can zoom out and get those things fixed. Alright, let's see. How's this going? Let me check the current file to verify the changes are actually compiled. Check the NPC config. Okay, what I'm gonna just quickly take a look at. So what do we still have? We have a lot of balancing stuff that we have to do. Editor inspection stuff we've done already. Sprites and audio, trading. So really what we're gonna be able to get done is the trading, the UI map editor as well. There really is a lot of stuff in this that is not intended to be done on stream, and I don't know how I'm going to really fill that additional time while I'm working on those off stream. Because those are things that aren't necessarily going to take like only a day. Yeah, I'm not sure about those. I'm once again experiencing the urge to go and play Pokemon Champions. Can't wait for the next season of Pokemon Champions, because I'm really hoping that they release Mega Absol Z in that. And I can't wait to find out what ability it has. Oh, never mind. Code changes are in place. That's what I like to see. Code changes are in place. The jitter is almost certainly caused by the NPC's authored position being rebroadcast by zone state refreshes, quest visibility updates. Smooth zone transitions, overwriting the fleet position on the client when moved equals false, nothing is sent. So any zone state resend snap the orc back to it. That's not what's happening. I don't fully believe this, but I'm gonna try it. There we go. I don't know why it takes so long for Streamlabs to actually pick up the client. Okay. Now we're gonna run it over. This is still not working. I'm gonna at least test to see if the... Let's test to see if the 10-second delay for returning from the flea is working. I also really need to give Sweep a buff. I think it needs a range buff. Ouch, ouch. I think it mixed up which one it was watching for it to return and which one it was watching for it to actually flee. The delay does work. So the delay is definitely set to only tick down once the player is within, or is no longer within 32 tiles away, but the orc is only fleeing 8 tiles, which means that the two numbers are flipped around, because the orc should be trying to flee when they're when they're within 8 tiles. They should try to flee 32 tiles away, and then if they're away, if they're more than 8 tiles out for for 10 seconds, then it should try to return. So it might be better for me to try to convey that. Unsure. I still look at the game and find it funny that I'm using squares for all my placeholders still. Squares with text, and then those are the baseline placeholders, and then the actual other placeholders are just temporary art that was drawn. Do 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 do. This is feeling like one of those things where it's like, I'm going to go and trace through the code and I'm going to find the exact issue before the actual AI gets to it. Internal server quest NPC behavior. Tick quest NPC behavior. Session ensure flee state. Step flee. Reset distance. Step flee. Reset pixels. Reset distance tiles. Tile size. If reset pixels is less than 0, reset speed. Compute flee to target once. Anchor arrive epsilon. I don't like that this is a hard-coded class. It's not very generic. It uses these as fixed values. I thought this was 8. Step flee. See, this should be this is going to need to be reworked a lot. This should not be one large single function. This should be a series of other smaller ones that are called in order. Take quest NPC boulder throw as well. There looks like there's a lot of reused stuff here for the specific distances. Players close flee immediately. Clear any returning state so that the NPC never ignores the player. See, this is only using the max flee distance here to determine if it's gonna start the return timer. Okay, I have a better idea of why the bug is occurring. The jitter bug is happening because it's not moving for a distance. It's not targeting a specific distance ahead. It's just moving only when the player is within the flee radius. So I have no clue what the AI is doing here because it should just be focusing on this step flee portion. Compute flee to target once. A destination directed flee stops it. Stops on arrival. Dude, what is it doing? Why is it going through all the quest stuff? Literally, it's just on the logic for the flee. That's the only place it needs to be focused right now. If distance is less than trigger pixels, if has target, go to here. Step, min, speed, go to. Literally, the issue is just that it has to try to make a... It needs to target 32 away from the player once the player is entered into the distance. So really, again, I have no clue what Claude's trying to change right now. This is why I do a lot of the planning ahead of time for what specifically needs to be modified and edited, because otherwise Claude just goes and does, yeah, we're going to check this, that, and the other thing, and then I don't know what it's doing. When it literally just needs to be focused on here. But I also don't want to stop it at the moment because it's still working through something. So. Focus on the step flee. The logic which must be supported is as follows. 1. The player gets within flee distance of the orc, so the orc begins to flee. 2. The orc determines where it is fleeing to. Flee to. The arena. So the orc determines where it's flee to. 3. The orc tries to flee 32 tiles away. 4x the flee distance. The range, or the distance Orc that triggers flee. The orc tries to fly 32 tiles away. Once the orc reaches the 32 tile distance, it stops and checks again. Or it stops and waits either 10 seconds and begins returning home, or until the player re-enters flee distance, at which point it must run another 32 tile distance. I don't know what it's trying to do. It's literally just an issue with this. It's that this is just trying to do one small step only when it gets within the flee distance, and then it's using the 4x as the reset distance, which is not the correct thing. It's literally backwards and inside out. I probably should have read this. Arrived at flee to destination. Stop. Player within flee trigger tiles flee. Cancels any active return walk. Return to anchor, walk home. Player is beyond flee maximum distance. Reset. Arm the return. Oh. Return countdown active. Otherwise, hold position. This is how these problems end up getting started. Dude. I need to stop paying attention to what people are saying. It's gonna drive me insane, and I'd rather not rant about that on here, but if I keep reading it, it's gonna cause me to start ranting. Insane. Insane. Anyways, let's see what's going on here. Let's see if we're actually making any progress here. Nope, it's... What is it doing? What is it doing? What is going on? Okay, so the NPC placement tile X and tile Y are correctly mapped from JSON. Now I see something important with config. Confirms if the player fault. What is it doing? With OR Commander JSON setting distance tiles to 8, reset pixels works out to... Looking back at the screenshot showing 00. Why? It's literally 187! Stop logicking. It's not logic. House and yours. Oh my. Player gets within flee distance. Flee trigger tiles. Since the orc runs 4x the flee distance. Wrong flee. Until distance player to orc is 32 tiles. Yes, okay. It's getting somewhere. I'm about to draw this out again. So basically, here's the orc. Here's the distance that it detects the player. Here is the distance that it's trying to run to. Here's where the arena is. So, the player enters this and nothing happens. Then the player enters this. The orc detects this. And then the orc selects this location and moves to that. Once the orc reaches that location, then it recalibrates from there. Here. Here. And if the player has reached like here, then nothing happens until the player gets into here, at which point the orc selects its location again and travels to there. I really don't think that this is as complicated as Claude keeps making it. But again, I recognize that that's trying to use English to explain to a LLM an issue, but now replace the entire step flea body with is still referencing the flea trigger tiles, which I removed. Oh boy, and now it's stuck compacting. Okay, this is definitely I'm gonna go play a game of Pokemon Champions. I wonder if I can play a game. Oh, this is gonna be horrible. Hey, look, you can see yourselves. Anyways, I need to figure out what I'm bringing. All right. Rain team implies you can't even see what mons I'm bringing. I wish I had something to set my elbows on. I wish I had an easier way to show this. This is not going to work. I almost want to grab the camera, take it over here, and just show the other direction. Let's see what happens first. Does Claude complete the change, or do I? Does Claude complete the change, or do I win my game of Pokemon Champions? So they started Pelipper Talonflame versus Furrier Incineroar. So fake out the Talonflame, Trick Room, see what happens. This is the most sketch ever. Oh, terrible. Hey, look, it might be done. Clean build, here's what happened. And the step flea rewrite is complete. Here's what changed. Remove the unidentified flea trigger tiles reference. The compile error is gone. Trigger pixels is now derived from reset distance tiles. The JSON value 8 tiles, the same field used as both the engage threshold and the re-engage threshold on return. Max flea pixels is 4 times the trigger pixels equals 32 tiles. The orc runs until this far from the player, then stops. Perfect. That's what I wanted to see. Engaged player prevents the orc from oscillating at the trigger boundary. Once engaged, it keeps running until it hits 32 tiles, even if the player briefly falls outside of the 8-tile radius. On disengaging, the 10-second return timer starts immediately. On disengage, the 10-second return timer starts immediately. The player re-entering the 8 tiles at any time sets engage true, clears the timer, and the orc runs another 32 tiles. Okay, so this sounds amazing. Let me just restart the server and client now. Oh man, this person's unlucky. Their Muddy Waters missed my Farigiraf twice. What was I doing right? I was booting up the other clients. 1 second, I gotta make sure that it actually picks up the correct one. Pick up the game. There we go. Charizard X? What? Who does Charizard? Okay, I'm gonna just quickly finish my battle here because I apparently need to pay more attention to it than not. They went Charizard X, not Charizard Y? That's crazy. Hopefully they don't one-shot my Mega Eel Electros then. I think they might. They just weatherballed it in the sun. They did not. I'm in a bit of a bad spot here now, though. They have a shiny regular Ninetales, which is kind of cool. Shiny Ninetales, well, technically shiny Vulpix was the first shiny I ever found, which was a lot of fun. Oh, of course they would protect their Ninetales. They've double protected. Oh, wow. I don't think this was the last turn of my Trick Room. At least I hope not, because otherwise I'm in a real bad spot. It was. Which means I can try to Trick Room again and I can protect, but I don't think I'm getting a second Trick Room off. I'm pretty sure they're going to just one-shot my Farrig unless it somehow dodges like 2 Heat Waves. Alright, well, let's go see this, because I'm basically writing this battle off as a loss now. Let's see. This is not great. Oh, wait, I never got the parting shot off. It just turns out that I got... Well, I think I am definitely taking the loss on my Pokemon Champions run. I thought my Incineroar had gotten the parting shot its way out, but turns out that was not the case. So... And both of their Mons were faster, so yeah, I just got double KO'd. Okay, I'm paying attention to my own game now. Although, I'm going to be honest, the constant level reset is getting really annoying. I need to increase the arrow reset timer way more than 10 minutes now. Okay, I'm definitely seeing that the Orc is acting how I want him to now. Which is good. I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy that the Orc is actually running far enough away now. Okay. We might want to just quickly get like an additional level here. No, Orc, don't return. Go. Okay, we leveled up as well. Whoa! He spawned right on top of him. Okay, so far so good. One thing. Okay, a couple of things now. When the Orc commander reaches the arena, it needs to despawn and move the quest step forward. Currently, the quest step gets forward. The Orc stays standing at the arena teleporter. Second, the player needs to spawn in the same relative location that the regular arena teleporter would send the player to. not directly on top of the orc. Okay. We've gotten farther in the testing. That's good to see. I am going to run back and see if we can actually do the fight, because I need to check a couple of other things that are there. Specifically that we don't see them on the other player. Python was not found. Excuse me? Why is it trying to... Why is it trying to use Python? What? I'm currently not able to target the orc commander with... Currently not able to target the orc commander with auto attacks. That's an issue. I also keep forgetting to look over at the other character and see if I was able to view them or see them. I don't think so. So I think that's fine. That I can't make it around those kind of drives me insane. I know we have to go back and we have to reassess some of the collision detection. What just happened? What just happened? Okay, I assume that was a bug with the server client, server client communication. That was strange. I don't know what to think about that. Level 5, let's go! Well, this is an issue. I don't think that was supposed to happen. Yeah, I'm gonna need to fix that one a little bit. And the easiest way for me to fix that one is going to be to grab the XY coordinates for the player. And forcibly move them back to 10. Okay, I got the zone town again. Now I go over here. Zone. I will have this fixed in a moment. Probably. Okay, player should have been moved back to the town if I log back in. I'll close the other one. There we go. Problem solved. Time to go test that again. Oh, that was on era reset that happened. Because I'm level 1 now. Okay, that means I have to look into some of the era resets. We should be fine on terms of bugs. Come on, I gotta get a level here. There we go, there's the level up. Okay, I cannot auto it. Okay, there's a bit of a bug here. And I need to run all the way back again. Well, I know that the player was not actually able to see the other player. So I know that's confirmed. But the boss fight is definitely a bit buggy. One issue, the player is not able to click on the boss to target it for auto attacks in the Alright, I'm gonna see about restarting this one now. Like the name of the orbs for catching Mons, Tideglass, Helios, Laurel, and Orbs Walls names is your character. For what are those names for? I'm probably going to need to raise either the time or I'm going to need to lower the amount of time you have to charge an attack for, because that's kind of insane. Okay, cool. Naming stuff's fun. Yeah, having my level reset here constantly is very annoying because I want to be like level 4 or 5 to actually run through here without having to worry too much about it. But then it resets my level to 1 and all of a sudden the wolves are destroying me. And I know it's completely my fault because I set the era reset to 10 minutes. Should get a level off of like another goblin or two. There we go. And then we run and we just put on the And now we can safely actually go get to the ball. Mostly safely. I do not have enough herbs to heal. I also need to remember to actually use the roll. Okay, so we enter. We're not immediately at the boss. That's good to see. Ooh. Boss projectiles are strong. Oh, we got hit. Okay. So I know this boss has 500 HP right now. That's roughly 20 hits of Hatchet throw plus pocket sand. Well, not plus, but I want to make sure that this gets reset first. The boss is also currently balanced so that it'll kind of just one-shot you if it hits you. Which I'm not sure how I feel about. I think it's good for low-level boss participation. It's an issue with the scaling portion, though. Once this clawed portion resolves, though, I think I'm going to... Actually, I can do this right now. I can copy that, paste it here. Oh wait, no, I'm not going to be able to paste it and save it until after I reset the server and player again. Just gonna have a piece of gum. I could also just make my character be like level 10 when I log in. It's not a bad idea. I might do that just to help with the quest. Yeah, this whole editing stuff for quests is very interesting. It's very different from the general portion of the back-end game implementation that I was focused on for the longest time to get up to this point. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. I'm enjoying it, that's for sure. More than doing quests normally. It definitely seems that it's a lot more difficult to get exactly what you want to occur during a quest than other. The results you get from AI is a reflection of what's in your soul. If you're creative and intuitive and think deeply about technology and what you want to make, the AI will reflect that. If you're kind of dumb and only consume slop and want to make slop, the AI reflect that as well. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what exactly the best way to go about this for quests is, though. Because if I go and look at the documentation for this, this is what we started with initially, and then I've kind of just been trying to... Quest system, here we go. In here we had a full setup for initial parts, and then I'm finding that I think for specific quests it's going to be more important to go even more detailed than what was done for these, because there's a lot of other interactions and explicit requirements that are needed for this. Like, here's the flee behavior. The NPC moves away from the player at a configured speed. So I would expect the speed to be easy to change. The player moves more than reset distance tiles away from the NPC. The NPC walks back to its anchor position and waits. NPC is not interactable while fleeing. The chase step advances a visit location trigger at the destination, not catching it. This is the mechanism of... so I think there's a couple of different parts that I probably would have needed to explain in addition. You're using an event-based dialogue system with Node for Flock Watch, so environmental interactions can trigger quest progress as well as dialogue. Mm-hmm. I'm just basically trying to figure out, because these are the first set of quests that I've ever had to make, or not had to make, but ever made for the game. And so I'm trying a bunch of different mechanics in them as well, and need to figure out what works well and what doesn't work well. And I need to figure out what the best way to describe these sort of things is as well. How granular does it have to get in order to get the desired results? Because apparently this is not granular enough. I probably would have needed to add another 3 or so points in here, specifically related to distances, interactions, and the side cases for it as well. That's why I'm saying this is a bit of a strange workflow for me to go through and be like, I had these initial plans, but then when testing it, it's not working exactly how I was hoping, so... The back-end stuff, I have a more natural understanding of how granular I need to be in the descriptions that I want to be using for them in order to accomplish what I'm looking for. But translating quests, which is more of a story format, into an application of the back-end portion is different. So I already do use sort of use an event system in the way that certain parts work, because really the event system is the event system is parallel in with the wire. Basically, what the wires are doing is the wires are sending events which are picked up and handled by the appropriate consumer. So the whole thing is working through a publisher and subscriber, which is an event system, and the wire formats are what's being sent through that event system. So. Oh, zone issues again. There's that error reset. I don't know how that always happens. But yeah, I am running off an event system. Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Figuring out which specific events and describing it in accurate detail for them. Because it's not the standard backend events of doing this, translating this. It's just trying to figure out which ones are specifically needed for it. But that's also why it gets shocking to me for like this issue that I'm trying to get it to fix is that we can't auto attack the orc. The orc is able to be auto-attacked in the regular arena, but not in the instance version of the quest arena. So that means that there is some fundamental difference in what data set is being sent through the transfer into the instance arena as opposed to the standard arena. So. But yeah, those events and stuff are all wired up already. It's just that there's additional events which are missing. So. I feel like there's an issue with this right now. What happens if I go and enter the forest down here? I'm basically just looking at the... Wait, what the heck is that? Clear preview entities? Okay. Okay, I just had the tints mixed up. I thought that it was one tint, but it's not. See, why is it looking at the auto attack configuration? That has nothing to do with it. Like, I'm able to click all of these mobs and it... The auto attack box. Oh no, I'm not showing it. Oh no. The auto attack outline gets weird. But this is exactly what's missing on the orc, or at least the orc commander in the instance. And it shouldn't be, because the mobs should be instantiated the same way as the other boss mobs. Yeah, there's definitely an issue with the events that are being sent when I'm traveling across this border as well, which I'm going to need to spend more time looking into. It shouldn't be. It should be configured the same as all of the other zone transfers are. Yeah, I'm going to have to spend more time looking into the zone transfer locations, because this one that loads specifically off of the quest is having very unexpected effects from it. Which is the whole point of testing a lot of this. I wonder what the size of this... I haven't done a code-based size check in a while, at least not since we started this phase. In the previous phase, I know we passed 20,000 lines of code. Well, 20,000 lines of Go code specifically. And that's completely ignoring all the size of the configs and the few additional tests that we have, plus all of the commenting. But it is starting to get to a fairly sizable project, which might mean that I need to focus additionally in the documentation on what specific areas need to be edited, especially on these ad hoc portions of it, rather than referring... I should probably be referring back to the documentation more. That might help to alleviate some of these weird wild goose chases that it's going off on, because I'm still referring to the specific parts of the phase that we're in, but I don't think it's actually reviewing those parts of it at all. I think it's just going off and trying to make the fixes. So I think the best way to go about making use of it is going to be to change the scope that I'm providing. Probably. Like, I don't... Here's my issue. I don't know why... I know we're focused on quest stuff, but a lot of these things shouldn't be quest specific. They should be utilizing the base specifics of the underlying architectures. Which is why I've been saying that the working with the quests is very different from working with the base underlying architecture. I do like this as the oh, that gold's lost forever. So was apparently that gold. So was apparently my ability to click. Oh no, it's just not scaling correctly with the... Why can't I pick up the gold coins either? That's another new bug. Oh. They were dropping in... It thought I was in the wrong zone still. Interesting. Oh, and I can't zoom in and out again. Looking forward to not being on the quest part anymore. I'd probably be taking notes as well. You just add another. I shouldn't actually touch the error reset part yet because that's going to be something I have to address on how that actually works. We're waiting, we're waiting, we're waiting. I'm gonna feed the cat real quick. I will be right back. Okay, the cat is fed. What does this even have to do with being able to auto attack? Oh. Did that thing again where I don't actually show what I'm doing. It's tracing over so many things that are just not related to auto attacks. In enter instance from and build mob deltas, skips dormant state or skips dormant mobs. The boss is supposed to activate on the next sim tick via update simulator. But there's a sequence problem. By the time send zone state is queued to the client, the boss delta spawn hasn't been sent yet, but a second zone state sends triggered by refresh quest visibility later in the same tick could override the mob state on the client if it arrives in the wrong order. The reliable fix is to activate the boss immediately in enter instance from after spawning, so it is included in the initial send zone state. Yeah, I'm fine with that for the quest boss, because the quest boss is basically you're chasing it down there, so it should already be active. So we're going to overwrite the save. We are going to restart. Now, we should be able to successfully complete the quest here. Clean build. The fix after spawn mob enter instance, the newly spawned boss immediately set to mob active. This means that the sims, update sims will still run. Okay, so we're going to go chase the boss down because we're going to take a look at here. Hey, look, we've got to chase the Orc Commander. So we remember where we found the Orc Commander. The Orc Commander was over here. Okay, leveled up. We'll now go. Or we're gonna have to deal with another wolf. Okay, we gotta level up again. There's the Orc Commander. We want to chase them again. We're gonna chase them all the way over to the location. Oh man, that Orc Commander went far. That's crazy. It's going, it's going, it's going. But now we have to deal with a bunch of wolves again. I have a feeling we're going to see the Orc Commander coming back momentarily. Yeah, there he is. Get him. Get him. Hey, look. He ran in there. Get him. Hey, we can auto attack him now. Ooh, that's a big wall of shots. Okay, our only goal here is to beat the boss so that we can get back out of here. Okay, we beat the boss. It dropped an ability, Force Crystal. Where is the... That's not how... Okay, well... that gives us another thing that we're going to have to focus on tomorrow. So... I'm gonna at least buff this. Level up. And then I think I'm gonna end it there for today. So we did make some good progress on the boss quest, or on the quest. We now have the flea working properly. We can auto attack the target again. But there seems to be an issue with whether it's actually in the quest zone, the quest instance arena, which it appears to be based on the previous testing. But the issue is that we didn't get the quest item drop, which means that we weren't able to complete the quest. So tomorrow, or I might even putter on this later today, I'm going to be trying to figure out how to get the quest part to work. Anyways, I'm going to be ending this here for now. I got to go get food. I'm very much looking forward to getting these quests wrapped up. This has been a learning experience on how to deal with sequential story-driven events on top of a layer of the underlying game implementation, which has been interesting because it requires you to communicate the issues in a very different manner and different granularity than what we've required for the back-end portion of this. So anyways, thank you everyone for stopping by. If you're interested in seeing how the game develops going through the future, feel free to drop a follow. I will be working on it